All right, so today is the day, permission granted. We are also doing another co-author interview. So not only co-author, but the publisher of Permission Granted, Kate Butler. So like everybody else, we'll kind of introduce. I have known Kate randomly for years in the corporate business world. She was in California and I was in South Carolina, and we met several different times on award trips that we'd win for sales. And just had a connection. And then when we both left that organization and started doing our own things, we just kept up over the years. And Kate's invited me to my very first women's retreat that really got the ball rolling, and everything started with how I conducted my life, and how I stepped up and took control and really and truly gave myself permission to live and to make myself a priority. And so, you know, that has started, it led us here. This is where we are today. And Lori was at the same retreat.
Yeah, so we've got videos on how all that happened, but it was all because of the Hootie and the Blowfish song, just so you know. And I was able to meet Kate and been on this journey for at least 5 years now, and just am delighted to have you on today, and just so grateful for your friendship, for your mentorship, and this book's going to be just off the charts awesome. So that's our introduction of you.
Right.
We love you so much, and so we want to let you introduce yourself to our audience.
Oh my goodness. You two are just like a beautiful, ray of sunshine in my world. I'm so happy to be kicking this off with you today and to be here. I adore you both so much. And I'm just kind of like giggling to myself with the absolute perfect introduction, you know, Tonya, by saying, you know, it was so random that we met, and my entire chapter is about how nothing is random in life, right? So it's like the perfect segue. You know, my chapter is about, you know, permission to receive miracles, permission to know that there is absolutely nothing random, permission to know that, you know, this world, this human experience that we all have agreed to and have the privilege of having right now in this time and space, you know, it is a series of serendipitous events that always will lead to the next best miracle if we are willing to give ourselves permission to receive it, to step into it, to lean into it, and to really embrace all of our God-given gifts. So that is what my chapter is about. And yes, I am also the publisher, as you mentioned, and creator of the Inspired Impact book series. So this is the first collaborative book that I've done outside of the Inspired Impact book series. And the reason that I chose to do this book is because my mentor, the first person to invite me to a women's retreat, and how this all kicked off for me, is Patty Albury. And so when Patty said, hey, I would like to do a book where we gather women, and my brand is Permission Granted, and I want to do a book where we all step up and share stories about how we took charge and we gave ourselves permission to stand up, show up, be seen. Is that a project that you feel like you can publish and that you would want to be a part of? And you know, I think that we're on the same page, all three of us, that when you are in that experience in your life and you go through that transformational weekend, retreat, experience, connection, that opens up, you know, so much in your world. And when she approached me with that, you know, it was just a full body yes for me. And that's really honestly why I'm here. And I'm grateful that you both agreed to be a part of this journey as well, because it's just been tremendous going through this with you.
Well, and it's funny you said that's a yes, because Lori and I use a lot, all the time, that if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And that is one of the first things I think you said. You know, at that time in my life, I was feeling so overscheduled and overwhelmed, and there were so many things I had overcommitted to. And it has just been, just that one thing has been huge. So, you know, we are super excited about being a part of this too.
Yeah, so we've told our audience like what permission granted means to us, like giving yourself permission. What does that even mean to you?
Well, it's funny that you talk about the, you know, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And, you know, I just mentioned a full body yes. One of the I used to, I'll be honest with you, there was a point in my life where I felt like you need to say yes to yourself, Kate. Like you need to say yes to your dreams. You need to say yes to your passions. You need to say yes to standing in your power. And then I was saying yes so much, I was like, you need to start saying no. You need to say no to these things and stay focused, right? So it's this interesting dynamic, you know, when we really step into our greatness and our gifts and our power, how the universe just opens up for us. It just expands the amount of possibility that can pour into your life when you step in and give permission is absolutely tremendous. And then one of the best things you can do for yourself, to your point, Tonya, is say no, right? Because if it is not in one of these main buckets that I'm currently focusing on, then it's an easy no for me. But you have to be clear enough, right, on your goals and on your dreams and on your vision in order to know exactly what you're going for so that those no's can be very easy and you can very easily identify what a full body yes is to get you closer to your dreams. So I love that you said that. And Lori, what does permission mean to me? Permission means to me to truly show up every single day, making the best effort possible for myself to live my most authentic purpose. That's what permission means to me. Now, does that mean that my life is perfect every day? Oh, goodness, no. Okay, right? So it's not like this perfect life. We always live like in unicorns and rainbows. That's not what we're talking about. But it does mean, right, that each day I can find a moment, I can find a decision, I can make a choice every single day that I'm going to honor myself and give myself permission to show up in my most authentic purpose. That's really what it means to me.
And that, you know, I think that Lori and I've talked about, you know, she said yes way early on, and then her excitement for her yes got me on board. And it was truly the permission title, like, why am I doing this? And I really, I needed to give myself permission to tell my story. I had never done that before. And so it's huge. It was a big step, but I think that the title itself was one of the draws to me of, you know what, it's time. It's time to give myself permission to honor the past, honor the future I've built, and be okay with it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you've already given, if people go back and watch this, they probably got 10 different nuggets and tips from you, because that's just who you are. But what we do like to leave people with is one actionable thing that you think would make the most difference in their life to live better.
So Lori, this is probably the easiest question you could ask me, because there is one defining non-negotiable commitment that I do every single day and have done every single day for the past 7 years that I truly contribute to being the most transformational tool in my life. It took me from, you know, where I was in a place 7 years ago where I was a new mom. I had a toddler and an infant. We were in debt up to our ears. We were growing into our mortgage, but we weren't doing a very good job at the growth part. My marriage was a hot mess because I didn't love myself. Like you know, when you're not happy with yourself, there's just no possible way you can truly be happy or allow somebody else to be happy with you, right? So not only was that filtering into my marriage and filtering into my friendships and my family life and all the places all around, you know, at one point I had to say, okay, it can't be everyone else that has an issue. It can't be everyone else that has a problem. Like, it's not everyone else's fault the way they spoke to me or how they treated me. And I was such a victim, truly. And I can see that now. And I had to take a stand 7 years ago and say, okay, if I have a problem with every single person and my finances are a mess and all these areas of my life are not the way I want them, the common denominator is me. What am I going to do about this? And this was when I ended up meeting Patty at that women's retreat, and my life began to shift forever. And the one constant transformational tool, I will say, besides meditation, but that's kind of like a given, the actual physical thing that I do every day is I do what I call future visioning. So I will put myself in my mind, in my vision somewhere in the future, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years down the road. This is to call in what I want my life to look like, what I want relationships to look like in a year from now. I will call in future business opportunities in 5 years from now. I know they're already on their way to me. I will call in future business partners to enter into my life in 6 months from now, because I'll open up the space for a new vertical in my publishing company, right? So all sorts of different ways that I will go about this future visioning. But I will literally sit and write it every single day. My Bella, who is now 10, she'll grab a journal every morning and sit, and I'll be like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm journaling. And so that you're kind of onto something, and you're like, okay, this has definitely become a habit in our house, and your children start to mimic what you're doing, right? But it is the one tool where I can look back on those future visioning exercises and say, wow, these things have created dreams and gosh, I'm using the word dreams not lightly. I'm using it in a very tangible way. It has facilitated the creation of dreams in a way that was beyond my comprehension when I began to write them. That's how powerful that tool is. And it's so powerful that I actually have it on my website. It's on the homepage of my website for anybody who wants that future visioning tool. I offer it as a free download. You can go right to my website and get it, print that out, make copies, do it every single morning, or just use the directions that are a part of that tool and do it in your own journal every single day. But just like with anything, if you do that for the next 28 or 30 days, you will see your life change in the most magical ways. And that is what I would leave with everyone.
And I will say, Lori and I both, we do that. We journal and affirmation and write things that we want to open space for, and it works.
I call it Tonya's magic journal. So she writes it and it happens.
Well, that's it.
Monetize that one day.
It's funny. We laugh at it, but we're laughing because we also know it's true. It's a command to the universe. Like, the universe does not question what you ask for. It only matches it. So when you are making that command to the universe and you are writing that into existence, the universe is saying, thank you for giving me some direction. So now I know what to give you. And it just works all the way around, So it's a beautiful thing.
100%.
So you mentioned your website. Anything you want to leave us with? Maybe tell us what your website is and how people can connect with you.
Oh, perfect. So my website is katebutlerbooks.com, and I'm Kate Butler Books across all the social media platforms. I tend to play on Facebook the most, and I'm learning Instagram. Anybody want to help me out there? Come on my way. And so I love to play on social media. I would love to connect with all of you, and definitely go to my homepage of my website, download that future visioning tool. It'll change your life forever.
So and we'll post links below for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a big day. We are super excited to have you. Thank you for joining us. And as always, thank you for kicking off this second act of our lives that we are so excited about.
Thank you. We love you so much. And everybody go buy the Permission Granted book. It is going to be life-changing and world-changing. So please go buy it. Thank you for bringing your gift to this project, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Bye.